right here. This is a SQL statement up to the 256 character. Then, depending on the input, for example, SQL command, so select. Sometimes the user wants to select A, B, C column only. Then select A, B, C. Plus, from, I'd like to access a student table. Then from student. Then, condition is ID equal 111. Or last name is Lee. So you can make the SQL statement. Then, append. Finally, you have one SQL statement. It's submitted. Okay, that's dynamic SQL. Dynamic SQL is most popular way of database programming, especially in your project B. You need to implement dynamic SQL based on the input of user. If you have a chance to take a look at the description of the second project, is you need to implement some interface of the SQL application depending on user selection, right? So at the time you can use the dynamic SQL. So JDBC is Java database connectivity, similar as the ODBC, but not exactly the same. It's for Java database programming library. Okay? So you can, the basic idea is the same: connect and submit the SQL and return the data and close. There's another thing is the SQL core level interface. Let's go back to this one. What happened when I pre-compile the exec SQL block? What happened? This SQL will be converted into C language or host language, especially when you use ProC. ProC, it will be converted into C language. Somebody may be curious. What if I directly use the C language, C library? Does it make sense? If you can do, yes, you can. You don't have to select from where. Instead, you can use the C library, which is developed by the Oracle Corporation or the Informix. When they develop the new DBMS system, they make the library to implement such an exec block. So why don't we use such a fun basic library that is called the core level interface? Low level, very, very low level, low whatever, low level interface library. Very, very complicated. Sometimes even hard to understand the library name. Like this one. This is a database program. Okay. The benefit of the core level interface is very fast. Because it's a very low level language, so it's a very fast. I did 2 or 3 times of using the core level interface, and their speed is 4 or 5 times faster than regular program. So especially I use that core level interface for data backup and restore. It's much faster. I should have sold that product at the time. But problem is very, very difficult. That is the reason there are companies who are looking for the developer who can code core level interface. So usually those who join such a developing the Oracle or the DBMS system, they knew a little bit. I called many times to the customer service center of Oracle. Nobody knows how to use that core level interface. But benefit is very fast, so also high payload. The last one is the database stored procedure, which you learned in the before the spring break. There are two types of procedure. One is the procedure, another one is function. As you know, the procedure is there is no output, while function has the output, return data. Okay? The benefit of this one is you can create the just one time compiled and stored in the system. The other person can share as long as they have the permission granted. And the problem is you should be careful to utilize a function in your system. For example, I implement a function to compute the average salary of the entire university. So it's very nice to see what's the average of all student GPA, but it takes a little bit time. For example, 1 hour to compute the average GPA of all students. Everybody use. So 1,000 people run the same program. So to compute the average GPA of entire student, the system will be stopped. Okay? So when you are using the function and procedure, you should be careful such a thing. So this is the example of the create function. So you will, I think that you already did the exercise lab for this one. So this time, I don't want you know everything of the syntax of how to do the database programming. Instead, you should understand the basic concept of the database programming. Then, after this class, your job is run the sample case, like the PRO-C or the especially focusing on the program language that you are going to use in your project B. Okay? So for example, I decide which program is preferred. Favorite program. ASP.NET or C program. So if he decides to use a C language, so he should be able to connect the database using C languages, C, especially PRO-C part. Okay, in your second project. Okay, there are a bunch of different combinations. I cannot teach each and every case. Even I do not know. Sometimes the student come by my office ask, I cannot connect the database using the new program language, which I never use. How do I know? But I can suggest probably this one, provide if that is based on the component base in your, so there might be some connection, right? So you should be able to connect the first, then you can call that component in your program, something like that. However, I do not know exactly. So that's one way to learn how it works, to understand how it works. Try to connect first using your favorite. I do not restrict the program language in your second project, so you can use the any program language as long as you can connect the Oracle database in our school. I'm not going to allow the database in your local machine or any other. The only database that you can use is the Oracle database at UUB. Okay? And then let me show you the some more example. The database programming. The exercise lab on Thursday cannot cover. I tried to put as many contents as possible on the project description. I believe you can do by yourself. Okay? So if the GA cannot cover each and every page, every line, so I strongly suggest you do the sample or exercise in the description by yourself. Okay? That will help. Okay? Then first, embedded SQL. I already explained about the embedded SQL. The SQL will be embedded. We need to pre-process, okay, pre-compile. So each block, there are syntax for each block, like the connecting database is exe is SQL connect, and username and password identify. There is a specific syntax, and this is a general command SQL block, so you can put database. This is a declare function. Why do we need the declare section? Because sometimes there might be common variable which will be used for database as well as in host language. So that common the variable will be declared, initialized in the SQL block, declare section. So for example, this one is a proceed in Oracle. So this is a C language, and this part is a C language. This part is the database connect. This is the username and password. Declare only the username and password. So as you can see, it's a variable character. I think I gave you homework, right? No? I think so.
What's the difference?
Variable character and variable character 2, right?
Oh, yeah, you just mentioned on the class.
Multiple sides.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Just ask you one.
Yeah, to read what? To find out.
I'll find out. Okay, I will ask if I have a time. If you cannot answer, then deduct all of you. Whatever. Anyway, so this is a variable character is not the data type in host language. It's database. Then, when you pre-compile this one, definitely there will be character user ID in with the format with the C language, host language. It will be converted. So main part, string copy is a host language, then connect using username. In case you want to use the variable declared, initialized in this section, you need to use the semicolon. That's different from the host language variable. Then even you can create a table, and you can insert the data. You can select. Okay. Next, cursor. Cursor is a temporary move in the memory. Like you can declare the cursor. My cursor is a temporary room. Name my cursor. Back cursor is a select BID from reservation. So when you run this one, so this room will keep all the data of bit from the reservation, line by line, record by record. Then in the program, in your program, you can, using the while loop, you can fetch one by one. So that is a way of the bridging relational database and host language. I'm not going to explain details. This is another example. And using cursor. So declare cursor more complicated, right? Then you can run the fetch, SQL fetch, which means from the cursor name as info, whenever you fetch one record will be returned. You can process. Then next, until no data found. When you compile it, you need to 2 times for embedded programming. What about the API-based approach? You don't have to compile 2 times. It's already compiled. So it's provided as a format of the library or the class. So you don't have to compile. You can just use it. Dynamic SQL. For example, this is a static SQL, right? You cannot change it. If you want to change the SQL, you need to compile it again. However, if you have something statement, you can just execute that statement. Okay? In this case, it's not the static, it's dynamic. You can just change SQL string. Okay? There's another approach that is based on the API, so Java API or some ODBC and even advanced database object. So I click. It can be dynamic SQL. You can make the string SQL, SQL. You can make the SQL later combining by processing the string part. Then submit it. Then get the data. The return will be stored at the result step like the object. Result step is a Java object that keep kind of the room. It's a set. Okay? So you can fetch. You can get the data from result set line by line, record by record. Using it has some method like the next and next. Stored procedure, I will skip the stored procedure part. Sometimes it's called the PSM, it's the same thing, different name. Okay, that's it?
Actually,
Yes.
you have that slide online.
I'm not sure. I will check it. If there's no slide of this one, I will upload to the class website. So, question is, what was the question?
Wow.
Difference between variable character and variable character 2? Who wanna answer?
Yes,
Ah.
I think the worker is received size in the memory and worker 2 didn't receive the size.
Anyone else? If you are fast to search the Google, you already did. Yes.
For character, if you, for example, put like 10 bits, you can't enter more than 10, or if you enter less than 10, you lost memory location. But for character 2, it's like flexible. You can resume as much as you enter.
Anyone else? Nobody did the homework. Oh yes.
Where is a fixed length character.
Oh, I don't think so. Character is a fixed.
It's a fixed character.
No. Variable character 2, both of them are flexible.
If you want a space for now, but variable character
Yeah, that's one small thing.
I
Yes.
think one character is for every character is 1 byte, but maybe just like Chinese words is 2 bytes, but worker 2 is all the thing is 2 bytes.
For chart, I think it's for chart dynamic allocate in memory. For you.
Oh yes.
However, for chart 2, size change depends on your value. It's depends on your size.
Which one is older? Definitely variable character. You know the difference between character and variable character. Character is a fixed. Variable character is not fixed. So you should have the terminator, right? So it's even though you assign the variable character 2000, but no data, there's no space. Okay, that's the difference between character and variable character. The problem is the character, variable character, and variable character 2. Which one is the older? Variable character. So first, the variable character was standardized. So it can keep up to the 2000 or 4000, whatever, I cannot even remember. And also it has a low level, internal level data structure. You know the 3 schema architecture. Then each one, you don't have to worry about what's going on inside, but DBMS vendor, they worry about how to store the data for variable character. But somebody realized variable character is not enough or not efficient. Who? Oracle actually decide to change format, internal level format of variable character. Then make it more flexible. Flexible does not mean the fixed and flexible. Flexible means more function and longer character you can keep. And internal level, even I cannot remember the details of she mentioned about something and he mentioned about the null or whatever. Change the format of the variable character. Then assign the named variable character 2. Then they realized the other people, variable character 2 is better than variable character. So variable character 2 nowadays standard. And variable character is the exactly same as variable character 2. Because the first variable character is a 2000 and certain format, but it's not very efficient and convenient. So Oracle proposed the variable character 2 by changing something, internal format, and variable character 1 is the same as variable character 2. Next standard, the variable character will keep all the requirements and will be standardized. So that's the difference. So when you are using variable character, it doesn't matter. Either variable character 2 is exactly same. Okay? So don't worry about it. It's not the two or the such a character problem. I believe everybody did the homework, so I will not deduct anything. Okay, so on Thursday we will meet on the exercise lab, the 163 or 4, whatever. So we will see. And be prepared for the midterm exam. Don't be stressed a lot, but a little bit.